now I wanted to get started with the second half of the show, and the reason that I had to get you in off of the patio was because Hubert is going to read in Kitty's Corner for us a very touching story written by the Rev and by Peter called Maria and the Big Feast. And Hubert is got like 102 something, but you know, it's art. He had to do it. So.
I'm burning.
Are you ready, baby?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Okay. So this is our, yeah. Hubert's a little under the weather. He's going to have to hit the road afterwards. But he's been, you know, he's a professional. He's been preparing this for some time now. Hubert, really, thank you for coming and doing this first of all. And sorry, man. I should put those in. Okay. Okay. So Hubert, Maria and the Big Feast.
Bilbo and the Big Feast. Mustache Girl and the Big Feast. Maria and the Big Feast. Maria opened her eyes and heard her mother moving around the store. The patterns of sun and shade from the rainforest came through the window and danced over her bed. The air was cool in her room, but she could already tell that the day ahead would be very hot. At first, she could not understand why her mother would be working in the store so early. And then she remembered. It was the day of the big feast. Women from all over the village came as early as possible to get the best and freshest ingredients for all their special dishes. Maria's mother hurried from one customer to the next, helping each of them to find exactly what she needed. Maria had never seen the store so busy. Even though it was starting to get very hot, people stayed and talked about what they were fixing and how good everything was going to be. Pepe and Pancho could not see the store from their lake. The only thing they knew was that the sun was hotter than ever. "I'm hot," said Pancho. "Me too," said Pepe. "Things just seem to be getting worse and worse since they cut down all those trees. There's no shade anywhere. This lake is getting smaller." The Amazon rainforest is one of the most beautiful and delicate places in the world. It's a place where life is in perfect balance. Beautiful, tall trees and gigantic creeping vines called epiphytes form a great green roof that covers the rainforest for thousands of miles. Epiphytes are the largest living things on Earth. In the trees and far below on the forest floor, many special animals make their homes. Monkeys and parrots, snakes and anteaters, sloths and ocelots. Fish and other animals live in the rivers and lakes. Nowadays, the rainforest is in great danger. This is because people keep coming into the forest and cutting down all the tall trees and clearing the land. When they do this, they upset the delicate balance of the rainforest and destroy the homes of all the special animals who live there. Destroying the forest is called deforestation, and it is a problem that worries all the people in the world. Besides giving a home to so many trees and animals, the plants of the rainforest create most of the oxygen which people and animals everywhere must breathe in order to live. Back at the store, Maria was trying hard to help her mother with all the customers. She ran and got things off the shelves. She smiled when the customers said nice things to her. But she was so excited about the big feast that she kept forgetting what she was doing. She could almost taste all the wonderful food. If she closed her eyes, she could almost see it. Finally, Maria's mother saw her standing with her eyes closed. "Maria," she said, "why don't you go outside and play?" Maria had lived in the rainforest all her life. To her, it was a magical world, always filled with new places to explore and new friends to meet. The first friends she met on the day of the big feast were the leafcutter ants, crossing the path in a long, long line. Each of the ants carried a piece of green leaf over its head like a funny-shaped umbrella. "Where are you going, little ants?" asked Maria. "What are you doing with all those leaves?" "We are gardeners," said the ants. "We are the best gardeners in the world. We need these leaves to grow our garden." "Are you getting ready for the big feast?" asked Maria. "Yes," said the ants. Leafcutter ants are very hard workers. All day their scouts search the forest looking for leaves of just the right kind. When the leaves are found, Thousands of ants rush out to help bring them back. The ants cut their leaves into pieces and carry them over their heads for a long way through the forest. The ants do not eat the leaves. They are gardeners. Deep inside the ant colony, they use the leaves to grow a kind of fungus, which is the ants' food. Leafcutter ants eat a lot of food. Together, they eat more food than all the other animals in the rainforest. Meanwhile, at the lake, Pepe and Pancho were also thinking about food. "Man, I am hungry," said Pancho. "I'm really hungry too," said Pepe. "Whatever happened to all those delicious little fish?" "I think we ate them all." "It wasn't us. We hardly got any. I think it was those other guys that ate them all." "There sure are an awful lot of us jammed into this lake. No wonder there's no little fish left." One fish that lives in the rivers and lakes of the Amazon River forest is called the piranha. It's a very famous kind of fish. Many people think that piranha are dangerous because there's so many of them. They have powerful jaws and lots of sharp teeth. There's scary stories about piranha eating people and animals much larger than themselves. These stories tell about cattle or people swimming in the water with the piranha and being eaten alive in minutes by hundreds of biting fish who leave nothing behind but the bones. Most of these stories are untrue. In general, piranha mainly eat fish that are even smaller than themselves. There is no reason to be afraid of them. After her talk with the ants, Maria went looking for her friend Tomas. She hoped that Tomas would not be sleeping. Tomas was a tapir, and tapirs sometimes sleep all day long. She walked to the part of the forest where Tomas usually slept and followed the paths he made in the bushes. "Tomas," she called, "are you at home?"
Good morning, Maria.
"Good morning, Tomas. I'm glad that you're awake." "Oh, yes," said Tomas. "There's not time to sleep today. I have to get lots of food." "Are you getting ready for the big feast?" "Yes, I am getting ready for the big feast." Tapirs are one of the oldest kinds of animals living on Earth. They've been around for millions and millions of years. They live in the rainforests of South America and Malaysia. They like warm, wet places where they can take lots of baths. They're even able to walk underwater. They have long, rubbery noses. Their skin is very hard and tough. They have 4 toes on their front feet and 3 toes on their back feet. They like to eat leaves and fruits and vegetables. Tapirs eat a lot of food. "Will you please stop talking about food?" said Pancho. "I'm sorry, I can't help it," said Pepe. "I'm so hungry, I could eat anything. I could eat an elephant." "There are no elephants here," said Pancho. The only kinds of piranha that can sometimes be dangerous are the ones that belong to the Sarasolmus family. They have large, powerful jaws and razor-sharp, wedge-shaped teeth that can work like tiny scissors so that they can cut and tear flesh away from the things that they eat. Together, they live in large schools and are found in rivers and lakes in South America. They are attracted by movement and by the smell of blood in the water. "Good morning, Maria," squawked Tonio the toucan, flying high through the forest above her. "Good morning, Tony. What are you doing up so early?" "Looking for food. I'm trying to find my favorite berries." "Are you getting ready for the big feast too?" "Yes, I am. I'm gathering for the big feast." After her visit with Tonio, Maria began looking for her friends, Mr. and Mrs. Kinkajou. The Kinkajous were Maria's favorites. They were the cutest animals in the forest. They were brown and soft and furry and lived up in trees. They liked to hang from their tails and look at her upside down. Sometimes they let Maria see her new little baby, Kiki. The Kinkajous liked to sleep during the daytime, and so Maria did not get to see them very often. She wandered for a long time, farther and farther off into the forest looking for them. Kinkajous are small, furry animals that look like a mixture between monkeys and squirrels. They live high up in the trees of the rainforest and come out mainly at night. They have thick brown fur and large round eyes for seeing well in the darkness. Their tails are very strong and will hold them while they hang from tree branches. They're very gentle and make very good pets. I think I'm going to pass out. I'm getting so hungry, said Pepe. Talking all the time doesn't make it any better, said Pancho. What else can I do? Boy, I could go for a big hunk of meat right now. If you don't be quiet, I may eat you. I think we're starving, said Pepe. Most of the time, even piranha of the Sarasalmus family are not dangerous. It's usually safe to be around them in rivers and places where there are lots of running water. It's only when they're in lakes, which are drying out, and where all the food's been eaten, that they might attack things bigger than themselves. The name piranha comes from an Indian word which means devilfish. They're especially dangerous when they're starving. Maria could not find Mr. or Mrs. Kinkajou anywhere. She wandered farther and farther away from the places that she knew. She wanted to find out if Kiki was going to have anything special for the big feast. She thought so much about Kiki that she forgot to watch where she was going. Suddenly, the trees disappeared and the hot sun was shining right into her eyes, so brightly that she couldn't see. At the same time, she felt something rough scrape against her knee. She quickly closed her eyes and looked away from the sun. What she saw when she reopened them a few minutes later made her very sad. Someone had cut down all the beautiful trees and taken them away. There was no place for the animals to live, no food for them to eat. Everything was dead and ugly. When she looked down at her knee, she saw that she'd scraped it against the jagged edge of a dead tree stump. The scrape had broken her skin, and there was a tiny round drop of bright red blood on Maria's knee. Looking up, she noticed there was a lake off in the distance. Piranha have a powerful sense of smell. Scientists have found that even putting a single drop of blood or meat juice in the water can cause the fish to become very excited and swim towards the drop at great speed, even if they're a very long way away. Maybe I can wash my cut off in that water, said Maria. As she got closer, she noticed that the lake was starting to dry up in the hot sun. The water level had fallen, and the banks were very steep and slippery. She reached over the bank and washed her hand in the water, but she used the water on her hand to wash the cut on her knee. All of a sudden, she noticed something moving in the water. I'm telling you, for the last time, said Pancho, if you don't stop talking, I'm going to... Wait, what? Wait, what is that wonderful aroma? It smells delicious. I think it's coming from over there, said Pepe. Hurry, shouted Pancho. We don't want to be too late. Oh, look at all the poor fish, said Maria. Why, there are hundreds and hundreds of them trapped in the lake. Poor things. They don't have anything to eat, and they look so very hungry. Standing at the side of the lake, looking at all the dead tree stumps around her, Maria felt sadder and sadder for the fish as she thought of them left with no food on the day of the big feast. As she leaned over to see them better, she forgot how slippery and steep the sides of the lake had become. Before she knew what was happening, her foot slipped in the mud and she fell in the lake with a very loud splash. She made a lot of noise in the water as she tried hard to get out. Pepe and Pancho and all the other fish in the lake were very happy. They darted around faster and faster. The wonderful smell was everywhere. And after having no food for such a long time, all of them could finally eat their fill. I can't get enough of this, shouted Pepe. I can't understand what you're saying, said Pancho. You have your mouth full. Sorry, said Pepe. The day of the big feast turned out to be the best day anyone could ever remember.
Story about the Amazon. You first, did you brilliant. Thank you so much. Like some. Okay. All right, well, that's